You're on.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Exercise Club here at Mercy Med. I'm Scott. I am the physical therapist, and thank you for joining us again here at our virtual or online exercise club. One quick announcement before we get started. This Friday we do have a vegetable stand, farm stand outside of Mercy Med, back on the 3rd Avenue side. So if you come around the 3rd Avenue side, Keith will be out selling produce. Is anybody else?
Yeah, we have 4 farms.
With 3 other farms.
Mm-hmm.
And so there will be our stuff plus 3 other farms that are out there selling locally sourced organic produce. And that is this Fridays from 9 to 12 o'clock in the morning. Right behind Mercy Med here on the 3rd Avenue side of Mercy Med. So we want you guys to exercise well, and we also want you to eat well. So come out Friday and get some good food here at Mercy Med. All right, so let's start out like we always do, reading from the Bible. So I'm going to read today from Philippians chapter 2, and this is verse 14 to I think verse 16. And it says, "Do all things without grumbling or disputing, so that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God, without blemish, in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding fast to the word of life, so that in the day of Christ I may be proud that I did not run in vain or labor in vain." And I just think that I find myself having things to complain about these days, as I find myself working in the clinic over the phone and various inconveniences that are going on. It seems like there's a lot to grumble about, and I find this is an important reminder for me to keep my mind right. So do all things without grumbling or disputing, so that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God, without blemish, in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. And so that is the good news. If we can keep our heads up and live through difficult times without grumbling or disputing, like we stand out in this time, in this generation. So so this is the good word to us today. That was Philippians chapter 2, verse 14 through 16. All right, so now let's get started. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. So I know that we kind of joke a little bit about how I never count when we do our exercises. And today we are going to very deliberately count. And the reason why is I know that some folks have been following us, I think, pretty regularly here on Facebook for the past few months. And we've got even a handful that have been with us back when we were doing this in person in the clinic back in January and February. And so hopefully you guys have been trying to do some of the work on your own, and so you're able to see these videos and you can go back and find them online. A couple of you have looked for us on YouTube, and but really what we want to do is try to empower you to come up with your own sequences and your own combinations of exercises, so that you can exercise even on the days that Casey and I aren't live on Facebook. Okay, and so today we'll do a couple of kind of warm-up stretching things, and then we're just going to do four exercises, and I'm just going to show you 4 different ways that you can put together and count your exercises and kind of plan how many exercises to do. And so we're going to show you 4 different ways to do that, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you guys to be planning exercises on your own. So our whole point here, right, is to try to make exercise something that's accessible and something that you guys can do on your own, even if you don't have a lot of expertise or experience in exercise or don't have a lot of equipment. We're trying to make exercise a thing that you can accomplish at home using household items and equipment that you already own. And so this is just kind of another step in trying to teach you guys how to plan these and how to do this at home. So we're going to start out, though, like we always do. We do a few things just to kind of work easy on flexibility before we get into kind of the hard work of the exercising part of this. Okay, so we're just going to do three three stretching type of exercises. And we're going to start out sitting in a chair. I want you to have your feet in front of you. Again, I always like to have your feet pretty well in front of you. That keeps you from being from accidentally falling forward out of your chair. And what we're going to do, we're going to bend all the way forward. I want you to reach down, if you can, touch the floor in between your feet. And then I want you to sit all the way up and reach up as high as you can. All right, we're just going to go back and forth between these two places, all the way to the floor if you can. If you can't, that's okay. If this is more just getting to your knees, that's all right.
Sherry says hello.
Hey, Sherry, welcome. Thanks for joining us again. And yes, we'll be back and forth here. Floor. Now, we're not going to count these, all right? So this is not part of the counting exercise for today.
Of course not.
If we start counting and overthinking the warm-up and stretching part, to me it makes this feel more stressful and we're missing the mark. So you can lean to one side or the other a little bit more, but we're just going to be back and forth all the way down. Like I said, if you only want to lean to your knees, that's fine.
Sarah and Tex say howdy.
Oh, wow. Well, howdy to y'all. Thanks for joining us. It's fun to see familiar names show up on the Facebook feed. All right, so that's our first one. All right, guys, so that's our first one. We're going to do three things just to kind of easy get us moving. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to circle our whole trunk around. And we're just going to sit, and we're just going to circle your whole body in circles. So you're just going to bring your trunk in circles. I believe I'm going clockwise right now.
I wouldn't know.
Casey cannot tell time on a real clock. So
Someday. Sherry said she's already put in 1,000 steps so far today.
Well, good for you. That's really good. Congratulations, Sherry. That's terrific.
Okay, I'm comparing you to the clock. Yeah, that's clockwise.
Yes, it is. All right, so that was clockwise, and I think now I'm going counterclockwise. So we can switch directions, and we're just going to...
Should we show them Felicia's clock?
Sure.
Okay, this clock was a present from a patient. So Felicia brought us this clock. There's the beautiful clock. So that's how I'm going to learn how to tell time someday on that clock.
And that'll keep me on track today and make sure that that we don't do too long on some of these things. All right, so that's our second one. So we circled clockwise, we circled counterclockwise, and now we're going to, we're just going to reach high and lean sideways. All right, so one arm up and over. I want you to just lean over to the side. Oh, man. And we can reach to the other side.
Telling you, chair stretches, chair yoga gets the job done.
That's right. That's right. So Casey teaches a whole class where she does stretching like this and many others, and she looks much more graceful than I do when I do these, when she teaches her chair yoga classes on Mondays. So if you want to be a part of that, contact Casey, because we're going to continue having chair yoga over Zoom, and you can get with Casey to learn even more ways that you can stretch your whole body out within the comfort of your own chairs. All right, we'll go once more on either side. And then we'll get started with the hard work of exercising. All right. Okay, so that's our warm-up stretches. So, like I said, today is going to be about kind of teaching you guys to make your own exercise plan. So those of you who have been with us now for the past several months of working out online, and in some cases all the way back to when we were doing this in person, hopefully you have learned or seen a couple of dozen exercises by now. So we certainly do a lot of the same ones over and over again, but we introduced you to a few new ones. And if you've been doing this for a while, you should know quite a few exercises. And so today's going to be about showing you a way that, or other ways that you can put together some exercises and kind of plan for yourself. So for instance, today we're going to do 5 exercises in total. All right, so we're going to do 5 exercises today. But we're gonna do each of them several times, and we're gonna show you some different ways that you can put these things together, so that you can do your own series of exercises with 5 exercises that you've learned here at our exercise club. All right. So what we're gonna do, the first way that we're gonna demonstrate is one thing that I like to do when I'm working out, is to use time sets. And so what I mean by that is I'm gonna look at the clock that our patient gave us here on the wall, and we are gonna exercise on purpose for a specific amount of time. Okay, and so what we're gonna do today, we're gonna exercise for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna rest for 30 seconds. And we're going to do that 3 times. So that's going to take us a total of 3 minutes, right? So it's a half a minute of exercise 3 times and a half a minute of rest 3 times. That's 3 minutes of activity combined with rest. And so we're gonna watch the clock and do that. Now, 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds of rest is not necessarily a perfect formula for everybody. So if you feel like you're like 30 seconds of work and then you do 30 seconds of rest and that's not enough rest, it's okay if you want to take 30 seconds of work and a minute of rest, or 45 seconds, or somehow kind of adjust that work and rest ratio till it meets your fitness level and your needs right now. But what we're going to try to do today is work for 30 seconds, and we're going to rest for 30 seconds, and we're going to do that 3 times. And the first exercise we're going to do, we'll talk it through again for those who are new. We're going to do a sit to stand, okay? And this is one of our favorites. We do this every time. And when we do this, right, we want to sit forward towards the edge of our chairs. We want to have our knees bent enough that our heels are a little bit behind our knees. And we sit up really straight, so you get your back as straight as it can be. You're sitting really tall in your chair. And then you lean forward from your hips, okay? So my back is still straight. Lean forward at your hips, and once your shoulders are above your feet, then we stand up, okay? If that is difficult, it's okay to use your hands to press on your knees a little bit. It's also okay to use a little bit of momentum if you need to. So any of these things are all right depending on how easily you move right now. But we're going to work on doing sit to stand. We're going to do it for 30 seconds at a time, and we're going to rest for 30 seconds at a time. And we're going to start that in 5 seconds, all right? So I'm checking my clock. And we're actually going to be pretty faithful about counting and stuff today. So here we go. We're going to work for 30 seconds. 30 seconds of sit to stand.
Well, it's nice though, because you don't have to count the reps.
That's
So
right,
all you have to do is count the time.
Right.
Do you usually use a timer for this?
I do. I use an app on my phone. There are phone apps that'll get you there. We have 3 seconds left. We'll see if we can get one more. All right, we'll rest now for 30 seconds. So those of us with smartphones, you should have a stopwatch or a countdown feature. There's also an app that you can get. It's called a Tabata timer app.
Okay. And then you can customize it?
You can customize it, yeah. So you can set different intervals for work and rest and how many you want to do.
So it thinks for you.
All right, it does. And so here we go. 30 seconds of rest goes faster than 30 seconds of work, but it's time to work again. So here we go.
And then you can put multiple timers in your Tabata app?
You can. And so if you pay for it, you can do a lot more than I can do.
Oh.
So I never pay for apps. But with the basic free one, you can set it up. And you can set different intervals. If you pay for it, you can actually save several different programs.
Okay.
All right, we got 30 seconds of rest again.
And how do you spell Tabata?
It is Tabata. It's Tabata, and it's a Tabata timer app. There are probably others, but that's the one that I have on my phone.
Okay. My friend uses a boxing timer.
Okay.
So it sounds like the bell, like the boxing bell.
Oh, cool. Mine doesn't sound like that, but it tells me I'm awesome every time I finish a workout.
Really? I think I want yours.
3, 2, 1, and 30 more seconds of work.
It does genuinely. It says you're awesome.
It does.
Oh.
Yeah, it does. It says on the screen. It doesn't actually say it out loud. but I know that it means it.
Uh-huh. That sounds great. So what's the benefit of timing something?
Well, so there are all sorts of benefits to timing things. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, last one, and now we're down to rest. And so one of the reasons why we can use a timer, and we'll rest for a little bit more than 30 seconds before we start our next thing. But now we're done, right? That was 3 sets of 30 seconds that we just did. And the timer allows us to be pretty specific about how long we work and how long we rest. And as we start to get more serious about this, it potentially gives us a chance to really mark progress. And we can combine this. So one thing that you can try to do is, if you're working on, for instance, a 30-second set like we just did, you can try to make sure that you get to a certain goal. Like you want to make sure that you do at least 10 every time you do 30 seconds, or at least 12, or however fast it is that you are that you're doing things. But it just kind of keeps you on task and makes sure that it keeps you a little bit more disciplined, I guess. And with some movements, it's easier to work in time as opposed to repetitions. Like things that happen rapidly, or really slowly for that matter, or things like doing planks, or running or riding a bike. Like there's a lot of exercises that are more easily timed than counted in repetitions.
Cool.
All right, so what we're gonna do one more timed set here. Okay, we're gonna do it, and we'll do a new exercise today. All right. So Casey.
All right. So here's our weights.
That's right. Casey refitted us with water bottles instead of weights because we don't have anybody coming into the clinic right now. So anyway, so what we're gonna do? Grab your. Oh my goodness.
Oh. It sounds like Siri's trying to get in on the exercise club.
That's right. Okay.
So they might not have weights at home, but
if you've got
these
a water
are
bottle,
weights.
Or better, a barbecue sauce bottle. All right.
Check that out.
Anyway, so you can use your country's barbecue sauce bottle, your water bottle, a bottle of your choosing, and.
I don't know. Some people might choose one that's a little bit more alcoholic.
That's true. They're still heavy, I suppose. Anyway, so take a bottle of your choosing, and you're just going to use one. So sometimes we'll do things that where we use more than one, but today we're just going to use one, and we're going to do a new exercise. This is similar to an exercise that I like to do a lot with weights in here called the kettlebell swing. Some of you who are patients have maybe done it before, but we're going to start here. All right, we're just going to move to right here. All right, so we're going to move from your knees to basically straight in front of your shoulders, or possibly right in front of your eyes. Okay, and so this is the move here. You see that I bend with my hips and not so much with my back. So I keep a good straight back, and by extending my hips, that is what moves my arms up. All right, and so this is the move here. All right. And let's try 30 seconds again. Okay, so we'll do 30-second a 30-second interval again, just like we did the last time. So we'll do 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, and we're going to do that 3 times. All right, and that starts in 3, 2, 1.
So where should somebody feel this?
You should feel a lot of the same things that you feel, for those who've been with us, when you do your hip hinge type of movements. All right, so you should feel like this right here is working, back part of your hip is working.
Oh, so not the low back.
Low back should feel like it's working as well, but I would say that is a secondary mover as opposed to the primary mover here. And you may feel like your upper back and shoulder muscles are working as well. All right, there we go. That was 30 seconds. You can sit for your rest if you want to. You can stand for your rest if you want to. You can not rest and just keep going if you want to. That's all up to you. But this is a really efficient exercise because you're using many muscles, right? So really, most of the muscles on your backside are working to get you through this movement, right? So the back of your thigh, back of your hip, your lower back, your upper back, as well as your shoulders. And we're going to start again in 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
I guess for me, the confusing part has been trying to get it to be like a hip hinge instead of like a squat.
So yeah, so Casey said you want to be careful. So you're moving here, like we really don't want to be way down here where it looks like you're squatting. All right, so your knees bend a little.
Yeah, it's a smaller movement.
But it's a small move with the knees, and it's a rapid move with the hips.
Got it.
And there we go. And we'll rest again for 30 more seconds, and then we will move on to the next thing. This will be our last time set, and then we'll show you a couple of other ways that you can.
So basically, it's good to time things that either take a long time or things that move quickly. Those are rule of thumb. Those are good ones to time.
Yeah, or things where you're not moving at all, like plank exercises and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Last time, 30 more seconds.
Go, Scott, go.
I think I'll make it.
Mm-hmm. And then if you had the timer, you could set it up to remind you every time you rest and stop and every time you start.
That's right. So the one on my app, it actually counts down. It's like beep, 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 exercise. And then when you're done, it says beep, 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 rest.
Uh-huh.
And then when you're done for the last time, it says you're awesome.
There you go.
All right, and that's it. That's 30 seconds again. Okay, so those are our first two exercises. And so that is kind of what it feels like or looks like to do exercises using time sets. And so that was just two exercises that we did. That was 6 minutes of activity plus a little bit of me talking. But you should feel like when you work at that interval where you work for 30 seconds and rest for 30 seconds, like that should get your heart going a little bit and maybe even have you feeling just a little bit out of breath, and that's good. And like I said, you can do different intervals. I do a workout sometimes where I work for a minute and then rest for a whole minute. And when I run, sometimes I'll run for a minute and rest for 2. And so you can totally mix up the amount of times that you do and find what works for you depending on what the activities are.
And intervals, I mean, people usually think that staying with the exercise for a long time means they're stronger, but I've heard that intervals actually can get you stronger. Is that usually true?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, so there's great value in kind of working hard for these shorter periods of time, and then taking a break and being able to work hard again. Mm-hmm. And so if that means you need to take a little bit of more of a break so you can work harder, that's probably good. And so don't feel bad if you need to take 45-second breaks or a minute break. It's better to be able to work hard when it's time to work. If that means a little bit longer rest, that's okay. Okay, so this next thing we're going to do, this is an exercise that we did way back when we first started this. This is going to be a balance exercise, and we've done this. We've done this in our exercise club a couple times. Maybe not recently. I don't remember. But anyways, you're going to stand about 2 feet away from your chair or so. You can stand with your feet as close together as you feel comfortable. And we're going to bend forward and we're going to reach across and touch the corner of the chair with the opposite hand. So you see I'm rotating so that my right hand touches the left corner, my left hand touches the right corner of the chair. If your feet need to be a little bit more spread out so that you feel balanced when you do that, that's okay. But if you're able to, you can stand with one foot right in front of the other. And that's a little bit more complex. Or you can stand on one foot, which is actually, I think, a little bit easier than doing the 1 foot right in front of the other thing. Anyways, pick whichever level of balance you feel confident with. If your feet are wide apart, that's okay. I really don't want anybody to fall while they're doing this stuff, okay? So find a way that you feel stable, and I'll just put my feet together for now. And what we're going to do, instead of doing time sets this time, we're going to actually count, okay? And so I'm going to count out and touch 10 times with each hand to the corner, all right? Maybe I'll have Casey do the counting. All right, that's 1.
Oh, okay, so each side is 1. Okay. Yeah. There you go, that's 2.
So 2 touches with each hand. There we go. 3.
Okay, there's your 4.
4.
How many were you going to do?
I was going to do 10 with each stand.
Oh, okay, great. I mean, honestly, I would have to just count to 20 and just go for it.
7.
So there's 8.
That's right.
Yay!
Almost there. 9.
And there's your 10.
And 10. There we go. Okay, so that's one set of 10 with each hand. As Casey astutely noted, you could just count 20 altogether.
I would have to, because I couldn't remember which side I was on.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. I just only count when my right hand touches. You can solve this problem however you
But then I have to figure out which is my right, which is my left.
That's true. That's true. This is a complicated. This may be one where you'd be better off doing time sets. No, anyway, so what we're gonna do 3 sets of 10 with each hand, just like so we did 1 set of 10 with each hand now, and we're going to do that again twice. All right, and I don't know how long we've rested. You can sort of combine this, so you can decide that you're going to do, for instance, numbered sets of numbered sets of your or numbered repetitions of your exercise, and then rest for a minute. Or rest for a minute and a half, or whatever the right interval is. Or if you don't want to be that disciplined and detailed about how you do your exercises, that's quite all right too. But I'm going to say that's about enough rest for me for right now. I'm going to put my feet together again, about 2 feet or so in front of my chair, and I'm going to touch the chair 10 times with each hand, or for a total of 20 times. All right, here we go.
There you go. Okay, that's 2. Got it.
There you go. Halfway there.
And basically, they could reach out and touch anything, right? It could be a table.
Yeah. That's 8.
Mm-hmm. There's 9.
And
There's 10.
10. We did it. Okay. So yeah, if we could have said this before, but if bending to the touch the table is difficult, or if it hurts your back, or if you don't for some reason have a chair,
You could use just like your desk
you
there.
can just as easily touch a tabletop. That's going to be a little bit easier for you to reach. Or if you don't want to bend that much, you can touch the back of your chair, right? So there's so we have options here to make this potentially a little bit easier if that's a difficult movement for any of our folks who are with us today.
All right, only 1 set to go.
1 set to go. Okay. Are we ready for the last one?
Mm-hmm. You got this.
Good. Okay. All right. I feel like I'm ready. So we're going to do this again. We're going to do another set of 10, and we're going to touch the chair again 10 times with both hands.
I'm getting better at counting. That's 2.
Here we go. I almost missed the chair. I don't know if I can count it if I miss.
You got further back.
I know.
Guess you're up for the challenge.
I'm no taller than I was before, so that was my problem. Is that fine?
Yes, that's 5. Yep, that's 6. Awesome. There's your 7. There's your 8. That's 9. And 10 is an extra inning in baseball.
There we go. All right. So there we go. So that's 3 sets of 10. So that's another way that you can put together your exercises. Okay, so you could do numbered sets of exercises and actually count them. And one of the benefits here is, especially if you're doing an exercise with weights or carrying a bottle or what have you, that gives you a way to know that you're doing about the right weight. Okay, so for instance, if you're doing for instance, sit to stand, and if you're holding on to a bottle, so we did sit to stands earlier, but if you're doing sit to stands and you're holding on to a bottle and you struggle to do, say, 12 of them, you're probably about where you want to be, right? And then if you work, if you work it every day, and 2 weeks from now you find that it's no longer a struggle to do 12, and you can actually do 15, and you can do 15 pretty easily, then it might
Up
be
your
time to find
weight.
a bigger bottle or a larger weight. And so and if we're careful about how many of these things we do, we can mark progress and potentially help us to make progress and get stronger and actually keep track of that.
Well, they could also use books, right?
We can also use books.
I decked out the kettlebells, so check out some of these books. They're ginormous. So if you don't have weights, you don't have kettlebells, you can grab a book, especially if you have any big, thick books. That would give you plenty of weight.
All right. So the next thing we're going to do, we are going to put together 2 different exercises, and we're going to do both of them right in a row without a break, and then we'll take a break after doing them both. Okay.
Oh.
So
is the fancy name is a superset?
That's right. This is the fancy name for this is what's called a superset, where we take 2 exercises, and in this case, we're going to take 2 exercises that use different muscles, use muscles kind of on the opposite side. So we're going to be doing an exercise for our chest and shoulder muscles, and then one that's more for our upper back muscles, and so muscles that are kind of on opposite sides of our body. And we're going to work those together. So one set of one and then the other, and then we'll take a break after doing them both, okay? So what we're going to do, we'll do a set of 10 of each of these exercises, and I'll show you what they are first, so that you can know what it is that we're about to get into. Okay, so the first move that we're going to do is we're going to do a push-up, okay? And we can do that in a couple of different places, okay? If you've got a sturdy countertop and you have the strength to do it, you can do a push-up somewhere like this, right? So you can do a push-up with your hands on a sturdy countertop that's definitely not going anywhere, right? So you can do push-ups on a surface like that. If that is not possible, either because of your furniture situation or because you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can also do push-ups leaning into a wall. All right, so just like a normal push-up, you try to have your body basically straight, and then you're just going to lean forward towards the wall. And in my case, I just kind of lean so my forehead basically starts to touch the wall.
Oh, so touch your curly top.
That's right, touch your curly hair to the top, to the wall, and then press yourself out. And if that's a little bit hard, you can step even closer to the wall, and you'll find that it's
okay.
It's
So feet closer equals easier. Feet further away equals harder.
Yeah. So if you stand pretty close to the wall, it's easier. If you get way back here, it's a little bit of a harder thing. And so you can find a spot on your wall that feels right for you. Okay. And as you're trying this, know that we're going to try to do 10. And we're going to do it twice, okay? So that's our first exercise, okay? The second exercise we're going to do is one that we've done in here before, and you're gonna have your hands here, okay? And you're just gonna pull your hands back, all right? So your elbows are bent at about 90 degrees or so. I think in my case, my elbows are down a little bit, and that's fine. But you're gonna come from here to here. All right, if you want to try to do something that makes this a little bit more difficult, if you just bend forward, keeping your back straight, and do the same movement, it's a surprising difference. I guess gravity makes as far as making this movement a little bit more difficult. So you can do this standing upright, like I am now. You can do it kind of in this half bent over position, or you can do it sitting, if that is preferable. Okay, so those are our options. So what we're going to do now, as Casey said, we're going to do a superset, which means we're going to do some of the wall or tabletop push-ups. So we're going to do 10 of those, and then we're going to do 10 of these, and then we're going to take a break. Okay. Okay, so let's start our superset. I'm going to do it on the table because I think that makes it easier for Casey to see me with the phone. And we're going to do 10 of these, and then immediately followed by 10 of that other exercise.
Oh, if it's 10, I bet I could count down from 10.
Okay, or we can count down from 10. Okay, so here we go. We're starting our superset of push-ups and the back exercise. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're just trying to keep a straight line, right?
6. Yep. Am I doing okay?
Mm-hmm. I think so. You would be more picky.
8.
There's your 9.
I should be good at these.
And there's your 10.
22 years in the Army. I've done a few push-ups. All right, so that's our first one. Now, no break. We're going to do this one here. Okay, a little bit of a bend over. That's one. Pulling the shoulders back. That's two. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. All right, there we go.
So
Our
what?
first superset is complete.
So what's the benefit to working both sides right away, like right next to each other?
Well, I think the main benefit is just that we want to make sure that we do work both sides. So it's important that that we do exercises that that address essentially the muscles. The easiest way to describe is the muscles in the front of our body as well as the muscles in the back of our bodies. And so we've done that today. Right, so when we do the sit to stand, like that really kind of addresses both sides of our legs together. That certainly addresses the front of your thighs. But then when we did this one, you should have been feeling the back of your legs as well as
And the kettlebell swing.
The kettlebell swing.
The barbecue sauce swing.
That's right, the barbecue sauce swing. And now we're doing an exercise that gets the front of our chest muscles as well as our back muscles kind of alternating each other. You don't necessarily have to do supersets that are exactly opposite each other. So it's okay to pick just about any two exercises that you know of and try putting them together and see how it goes. So I really want people to feel empowered today to try to assemble your own plans and put together a series of exercises that works for you. All right.
Go be creative.
So we'll do one more superset, okay? So one more superset with the push-ups and the back exercise, all right? And here we go. This will be our last hard exercise for today, and we'll do 10 of these.
There we go. That's 1, 2, 3.
4.
I should probably do these later because I hate push-ups. I'd probably rather do anything else.
8.
And boom.
10. There we go. And now the other one, I'll do it again halfway bent over. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Halfway.
6, 7, 8, 9.
And there's your 10.
Okay, so I just want to say just a quick word about selecting your own exercises, and then I'll swap places with Casey and let her do the cool down breathing and stretching stuff that we always do. So today we only did 5 exercises, and I really want to encourage you guys who've been with us for a while to try some of these things on your own, right? So think back over the things that we've done over the past few months, and come up with your own supersets or your own programs and your own sequence or series of exercises that you can get through. You can do time sets like we did at the beginning. You can do numbered sets like we did there in the middle, or you can try some of these supersets. But one thing that you'll notice that we did today. So today we tried to do something that was kind of an overall whole body workout, right? So we started with the sit to stand, like we almost always do. So we started with sit to stand exercise, which is a great exercise for developing the strength in your thigh and hip muscles. And so we did things for our lower body strength. We did things to address balance, which was the part in the middle where we did the turning and the reaching for the chair, and then we did things to address upper body strength, both front and back. And so this was really a pretty full body workout that we just did today with only 5 exercises. And so anyways, I encourage you to try to put together your own series of exercises and keep exercising even on days that we're not here. Speaking of, we'll be back here in 2 weeks, I believe.
Next week, Marie will do diabetes education on Facebook Live.
That's right. So So next week there's a diabetes education class, and then the week after that we'll be back with Exercise Club. We hope to see all of you there again. And now I will let
On
Casey
Facebook.
take over.
Okay. So if you're going to think about choose your own adventure in the world of stretching, I would say find something that feels sticky in your body. And sticky can be like the stretches we did earlier. So if you start circling around your pelvis, maybe there's one spot that feels sticky. Anytime you find a sticky spot, stay and breathe. Your breath tells your nervous system, hey, it's okay. I can relax here. We've got this. You don't have to be so tight. Same thing with any other. So I like to not just stretch, but like Scott was doing earlier, when you stretch, add movement. Try side to side. Try to get creative. It does a few different things. One is that it's soothing. The other thing is that, hello, God didn't just give you a mind, God also gave you a body. And when we think about the scripture for today, so you can either cross the ankles or cross ankle over knee, take it side to side or lean forward and back. Find whatever stretch where you find the complaining in your body. Because if you can find that little spot of complaining and then stay and breathe, then sometimes that heavy feeling of tightness or complaining, you can give that over to God. And that's the beauty. Switch sides, find whatever you need to find here, ankle or ankle to knee. Again, take it every which way. Because if my hip is complaining a little bit, and I breathe and invite God in to that complaining, then a lot of times He'll lift off that heavy complaining feeling. And I want to pray for us to close the way we always do. We always have a prayer as we finish. Dear Father God, thank you for giving us more than simply minds. God, thank you for giving us bodies. God, thank you for giving us movement, balance, freedom, and joy. God, I pray that you release every single person who's watching this into a easy, being at ease, non-complaining feeling in their bodies. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, we love you guys. And as Scott said, if you want to do more yoga with me, please message and I will make sure I get you connected as we come up with plans for that. The next time we have an in-person wellness class, we're looking at to August. So we can count on there being more Wellness Wednesday content on our Facebook, and of course we do have a YouTube. So you can count on that, and then we will look forward to seeing you in person later on in the fall. But we'll see you Friday for Farm Stand Friday. That's 9 to 12. All right, bye.